Hi, my name is Manipam. In this video, I will show you how to enable and test BACnet IP interface on Trellix Core version 9.00.25 or later. As a prerequisite before setting up Trellix for BACnet integration, please make sure that the Trellix Core server, the controllers, which include the WAX or EG2, and your laptop are connected on the same network, meaning that first 3 octets of IP address of each network device must be the same. So in this network example, that would be 192.168.9, while the last octet on each device has to be unique. Next, the subnet mask has to be the same on each device as well, and each device must have the same gateway IP address. If the building automation system and the controllers are on separate networks, the Trellix core must be installed on the same network as the building automation system to avoid dealing with BACnet router. And data has to be routed by the customer IT department to ensure there's a proper communication between the controllers and Trellix core. Once the network is up and running, we can now go through the steps on how to enable BACnet interface on Trellix. So we sign into the Trellix web interface. From the lighting application app, we have to switch to admin application. Once we're there, we have to click on system, click on BACnet. As you can see, by default, BACnet is disabled. In order to enable it, we have to click on the edit button on the right-hand side here, and then click on enable under BACnet IP interface. After that, we can go and enable or disable all the different BACnet objects that is available by Trellix here. After we enable the ones that we want, we can now click on the save button. Now we are ready to test BACnet responses on Trellix when we use a third-party BACnet explorer called YABE. YABE, which is YABE, stands for Yet Another BACnet Explorer. And here's how to use this software. First, you need to click on this plus button. Once you click on that, you have to select the IP address under BACnet IP over UDP. You have to select the IP address of your laptop. Then click on the add button. As you can see, this is the Trellix core server showing up under the device. Then you can see there's a whole bunch of BACnet objects being populated down here. There are many different BACnet objects being populated on YABE. Some are displayed as analog input, while others are being displayed as analog values. And every object has a unique ID that can be identified. You can click on each object to reveal its name and what functionality it can do for you. But for a big job with hundreds of areas and devices, you will end up with a very long list of objects, and it won't be practical for you to sit there and click through one object at a time because it's going to be very time consuming. So there's a better alternative for you. On the Trellix interface where you enable BACnet, you can click on this little button to download the epic files from Trellix. So what is PICs? PICs stand for Protocol Implementation Conformance Statement. PICs is a document that describes BACnet capabilities and features implemented in a device. It lists all the BACnet objects that represent the buildings, floors, areas, zones, occupancy, and daylight sets that have been programmed and imported into Trellix. So now that we have the PICs file downloaded, we can open it up. Just click on the show in the folder here. Then right-click on the device. Select Edit with Notepad++. If you don't have it, you can download it off from the internet. It is another third-party software. For the purpose of testing BACnet responses from Trellix, you can ignore everything from the top here. These information are for BACnet integrator to go through if he wants to learn more about the features that have been implemented on Trellix. So just keep scrolling down and until you see the BACnet objects starting to show up, which is here And if you keep scrolling down, you see different name there, such as building 1_LOV. Okay, so since there are many objects in the PIX file, how do you know what you're looking for? So what you should do here is to go back to Trellix to find a known area that has already been set up. Okay, so to go back, I have to click on switch the application here, go to lighting, and go to operate. So I already set up a demo panel here with 4 lights, Office 101 and meeting room. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick demo that of my working system here. There you go. So I'm going to turn on Office 101 to a scene number 6, and then press send. As you can see, the light turned on at a very dim level. And as you can see, the area color status also changed from gray to green. Okay, so this is just to show you that I have a working system to work with here. So now that we know the area name we want to test with BACnet override, let's go back to the PIX file. And the area name that I'm interested in here is Office 101. To do the quick search, we can just press Control F in the ePIX file, and then type in the name Office 101 and click on the button Find Next. So the first object you see here, it's a A8 Office 101_LOV. LOV stands for level override, which is a high priority command comparing to the Office_SCN, as you can see here, which stands for a scene command. And this is a normal priority override. Notice the object type and the object ID right above the name of each object. And that is what we use to search for when we're using YABE. So for the Office 101_SCN, the object type is analog value, while the object ID is 1092. All right, so now that we know what the ID is, I just need to search through YABE here and look for analog value 10092. Once I find it, I just click on it and it's going to reveal the name exactly as it was shown in the ePIX file. Next, you can see there's a property box showing up on the right hand side. And that will show up for any object that you select. For example, if I click here, this object reveals its name and it has its own property box. So going back to Office_SCN, right now you can see the present value is 7 because that's what I have sent from Trellix. Remember the command from Trellix I sent earlier? That's the value that it is at. Why is it 7? When I was sending scene number 6 from Trellix. That's because BACnet scene always start with 1 instead of 0. This table shows you the scene value of each control system with respect to the BACnet scene. For WaveLinx wireless, scene values are 1 less than the BACnet scene. So if you want scene 2 on the WaveLinx wireless system to turn on, that means BACnet scene value has to be 3. As you can see here, right? To turn on scene 2, you need to click on scene 3 and enter that into the present value. For the WaveLinx wire system, scene values are 2 less than the actual BACnet scene because it has the additional alarm scene. So if you want to turn on scene 3 on the WaveLinx wire system, you have to call BACnet scene number 5 by entering that value into the present value of that particular area scene. So let's do a few scene override from YABE to Trellix. So on YABE here, I'm going to select the scene, the object name Office 101_SCN, and I'm going to turn this on to scene number 1 on the WaveLinx wireless system. Press enter. As you can see, the light turned on a very bright level, and soon the color status is going to change from gray to green. If I select the Office 101_LOV object, which is for high priority override, The present value that you see here is -1 by default. This is to remind you that if you need to cancel this command, you need to enter -1 in the present value field. If I enter 6 here and press enter, as you can see, it dims the light down to scene number 5 on the WaveLinx wireless system. And the Trellix floor plan will change the area color status to yellow to indicate that this is a high priority override. So this means that nothing else will be able to control this area when it is in high priority override mode. If I press a wall station to turn the light off now, as you can see here, and I press it, the light remains on because the high priority mode is active. In order to regain control of Trellix, you can cancel this high priority override command by entering -1 and the present value for the object office 101 underscore LOV. Okay, so enter -1 here. Now, how come the light go off instead of going back to a very bright level that I had originally sent when it was in object office 101 underscore SCN? Why did that happen? That's because Trellix only remembers the last command with normal priority level sent to it. And that last command was off. And it happened when I pressed the off button on the keypad. Let me demonstrate this again without the interference from the keypad. So I'm going to tell the office 101 underscore SCN to go to another scene, scene number 3. Okay, and press enter. And I'm going to select the office 101 underscore LOV again and enter a dim value at 6 and press enter. Okay, this time I'm not pressing any wall station. So I'm going to cancel this override by entering -1 to cancel it. As you can see, the light go back to the original level from the normal priority override as expected. So far, we only talk about the Office 101 LOV and Office 101 underscore SCN object in the page statement for Trellix. There are also a few other object types that we haven't talked about yet, such as building underscore LVL, building underscore LOV, floor LVL. Okay, so let's do a few of those as well as a demo. So I'm going to search for those objects. Building. There you go. So the object type is analog value, and for the building, the object ID is 106011. Okay, so I'm going to send an override again, and I'm going to look for that object. So it's object ID 1006011, and that's building level 1. So the way I set up this system is that the entire demo panel is on building 1. So if I enter the present value here between 0 to 100%, so I'm going to pick 20% and press enter. You can see that all the light turn on. Okay, and soon you're going to see the area color status will turn on as well for these areas on Trellix. Okay, so if I look for LOV for the building 1, which is the one above it, and press a value 50%, then press enter, you can see the light go very bright. Okay, and if I want to cancel the command, just press -1 again to cancel the command, and the light go back to a very dim level. Similarly for the floor object, so I'm going to look for floor in the epics file here. You cannot find it because I'm not at the top of the page. So I'm going to enter it again. There you go. So the floor object is the analog value 105 1000. Okay, so I need to look for that. This is the one here, floor 1 underscore LOV. And the next one would be floor1_LVL. Okay, so the entire floor also set up as the entire demo panel. So I'm going to enter level 0 for the floor, and I would expect to see the light go off to level 0. There you go. Okay. Now, if I want to turn the light on for the entire floor, I can do so as well by just pressing in the present value, enter the value here, 100, and press enter, and the light turn on. And to cancel the high priority override, enter -1 again. If you'd like to learn more about the rest of BACnet objects being implemented on Trellix, you can refer to the page statement available online for Trellix. Just go to cooperlighting.com, then click on brand, select Trellix, select Trellix Exchange, scroll down, and then under BACnet control IP interface, click on learn more, click on resources and specs. Under technical information, you can click on this document here, Trellix BACnet implementation conformance statement, version 8 and older. If you scroll down, you will see the description of different object names starting on page number 3. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you find this information helpful.